Welcome to the Your Family Dog podcast, where we celebrate the special bond between families and their canine companions. Our goal is to help families and dogs grow up together, one episode at a time.
Welcome back to the Your Family Dog podcast. Today, I get to speak with Mark Mancuso. I'm so excited. He's created an application to help people who have dogs who have pretty significant energy needs, right? They need to burn off some energy with people who love to be fit and work out. So totally not me. It's all I can do to stay awake. So without any further ado, Mark, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you very much, Tina. It's so great to be here. I'm really thankful for this opportunity. I mean,
Oh, you're welcome.
it's been a tremendous journey. It's funny because, right before we started, you mentioned me being a software guy, and
Are you not a software
I
guy?
am not a software
Oh,
guy. I'm far from that. So,
but you're a workout guy. You're a health and
yeah,
fitness guy, yes?
I do like fitness. I do. Those are my hobbies. My day to day, the job that pays my bills. I'm actually in logistics. I'm a clinical trial logistics specialist.
That's wicked cool.
It is pretty cool. I've been a part of some pretty big drugs. I like to think I've saved, and participated in helping and enhancing people's lives through the therapeutics I'm able to deliver through my supply chain solution. Um, but yeah, I'm not a software guy. I'm a trained biologist, and and this just landed in my lap in a sense. So
Interesting. So can you tell us more about how Workout Wolf came to exist?
yeah. So the origin story, it's about a year old. I was in my office where I am right now. I was laying down watching TV and it popped into my head. I was like, I want to run with a dog. And I was like, all right, first problem, I don't have a dog. My my family, I have a wife and two daughters, a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old. They have dog allergies. So there really is no chance for me to get one. So, as I'm watching TV, I'm searching on the phone, searching up apps. I'm like, what's out there to run with a dog, to work out with a dog? There's many dog walking apps, there's dog sitting apps, but then I was like, whoa, I don't want someone to pay me to do this because I'm going to get something out of this as well. Like, I want this companionship. I don't want it to be a transaction. And I I leveraged AI a little bit, and it said, "Yeah, Mark, you're right. There's nothing out there." So I wrote in my notebook, jot down some ideas, and that's how it started. It started like a small PowerPoint presentation and making all these making all these connections via bubbles. And I guess maybe that's where my supply chain and logistics mind kicked in. How can I get from A to B software wise through an app? And I do not know how to code, in all honesty. Um, I hopped on to the AI bandwagon and the quote unquote vibe coding using ChatGPT, Google, a little bit of Claude, and I've been prompting those services with my logic. And after many, 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 many months of trial and error, I finally came to the beta, and I've reached the submission to the Apple App Store. It's definitely been a long ride. Yeah.
I bet. And a fascinating learning curve, right? Learning to step outside of your comfort zone and try something new, which is always it's funny when we're kids, we do it and we don't think a thing about it, right?
Yeah.
I watch dogs do this all day long, right? You put them in a new situation and they're like, oh, well, let me just try this out and see if I like it, and kind of go in with that childlike curiosity of like, well, it'll be an interesting ride no matter what I learn.
Yeah.
But as adults, I think we're kind of stilted a little bit about that because there's always risk that somebody's going to say that's dumb or I don't understand, like rah, 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 like no one will ever care. Like, and I love the people who go, you know what, even if I'm the only one who uses it, sold, I'm doing it. So that's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah. This version of Mark that we're talking about right now, someone that tries new things, didn't exist pre-COVID. Um, the whole COVID thing, I ended up coming out of COVID healthier, mind and body. And, with that extra time that I had because business had slowed down in the logistics area, um, I was able to venture out and try new things. And I gained the mindset of just try it. Like you're, I'm 41. It's like, then I was like, late 30s. I was like, all right, you're late 30s. If someone says something bad or doesn't like what you turn out,
Okay.
whatever,
Yeah.
they're words, right? Um, yeah, so this is the mark that exists right now that you're talking with. And this is the mark that created WorkoutWoof. And yeah, so from me laying down and jotting down the idea in a notepad, it started with just neighborhood dogs because I work from home. And I would say the majority of my neighbors work from home, and about half of them have dogs. So I'm like, all right, well, if I'm around and I know they have dogs, if they're in a meeting, I can just take them out for a run, for a walk. And it not only not only do I benefit, the dog owner benefits, and then it makes the community smaller, it makes the neighborhood smaller because we have those connections.
Right. It builds community.
Exactly. And that's what I love about it.
Because I do think as I've aged, growing up, I knew Mrs. Hand, I knew Mr. Roy, Farmer Roy across the street. Like I knew those people.
Yeah.
Now, in my neighborhood, I do for the most part know my neighbors, but not all neighborhoods are that way. And so, for example, years ago, one of my neighbors had a relapse in cancer. Her
Mm.
dog had passed away, and she just really missed taking an old dog for a walk. She just missed it. Like it was another reason to get out and go for a walk and enjoy the sunshine and enjoy the outside and get some vitamin D. And I just told her where we have the spare key and said, this dog will never ever pull you. He's super easygoing. He doesn't really worry about anything. Anytime you want to borrow him, come borrow him. He'll love going for a walk. He's not going to make you go faster than you want to go. Now, that was a senior citizen, but I think honestly, there are a lot of people who wish they had a dog but don't have a dog. And I
Yes.
think this being a little bit more flexible about like how can we get things, how do we make those connections is good stuff. It's just really great stuff. And it does get us more connected to one another, which I think as we move through time, we're realizing that we kind of all got so screen oriented that we lost a lot of connectedness.
Yes. Yes. I mean, even when I run by myself outside, I find myself, checking my emails as I'm running, maybe texting a friend, and I'm still connected somehow. But when I go on these runs with my neighborhood dogs, they're helping me beta test Workout Woof. I'm not doing that. The phone's in my pocket, tracking the workout, but I'm just talking to the dog. I'm like, the dog is my workout partner and the best workout partner because that dog isn't judging what I'm saying. The dog's just along for the ride. I'm getting a nice mental break. The dog's getting a nice workout, and we're making that connection, right? That
Right.
person to animal connection. That's something really strong, and it's something you can't quantify if you've never had, that relationship. And like you said, it's great. There are many people that want dogs, but for some reason they can't,
Right.
right? So as this workout woof was manifesting and morphing, it turned into, okay, well, now let's imagine you're in a city of a small apartment, and you have, let's say, an elderly neighborhood down the hallway. You can connect via workout woof, you know, make that connection, take that dog out. If it's in, let's say, New York City, and you're a female, you're running at night or dusk, being with a medium-sized to large dog is a great deterrent. There is a safety aspect to it, though I can't quantify that. But
I would agree that there is a safety aspect. And even honestly, even going for a walk, like I know you're a runner. I still refer to my knees as the good one and the other one. So running is kind of off the to-do list at the moment. Maybe one day it'll be back. We'll see. But it even going for a walk, like it was funny. Someone was talking to me about going for a walk without their dog, and I was like, why? Like,
yeah.
like if I'm gonna go for a walk, I really would rather have my dog with me and enjoying that experience. So I love, and then it can happen for all sorts of reasons, right? It can be someone has sick kids home and maybe the dog's been cooped up because we've been passing a stomach virus around for the last 5 days. Maybe
Yeah.
it's somebody is working away from the office and they need the dog to have an outing at some point during the day to burn off some energy, or pregnancy or disability, or you're dealing with some major thing going on that suddenly not everything can stay on the to-do list because we have something that's taking up bandwidth. So,
Yeah.
whether that's kids or life, right? So, how do you match dogs and people? Is it just geographic?
Yeah, it's geographic. It starts with a 5 mile radius from your current location, and then you can currently search for what size dog, small, medium, large, depending on what the pet owner puts into it. You know, um, Ideally, there'll be more filters in later versions that will discuss, energy, the
Well, right,
ability
because
of the
I'm thinking
dog.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, because I that's one of my questions is how are you
yeah,
matching a dog who maybe isn't conditioned for a 3 mile run and a runner who's like, no, I'm training for a marathon. And the dog's like, wait,
exactly.
what, mom? What did you sign me up for? Like, are you crazy? I'm never leaving the house again. So, I mean, because
Yes.
I was curious, like, how do you find the right fit, right? A dog who is comfortable with a stranger running, right?
Yeah.
Many dogs will view that as an opportunity to play, and you might get tackled a little bit. Have you had any funny stories come from running with other people's dogs?
I've definitely been pulled, and I've definitely had dogs that do not want to come with me. We start and they want to go right back home. But I mean, it's all about setting the expectations, because especially if you've never owned a dog, you need to build that relationship. You can't, one, just meet your neighbor for the first time and say, "Hey, I'm going to take your dog out for an hour." There will be that, a few times where you may just go over to say hello, throw the ball around, maybe go for a walk, and build that up.
So there is a lot of getting to know the dog and in the process getting to know your neighbor.
Yeah, I mean, a dog to a pet owner, to a dog owner is family. And, just like a babysitter,
Yes,
you're not going to bring anyone in. You're going to want
right.
to, in some essence, vet them to a certain extent. WorkoutWoof is not going to do background checks like Rover or anything like that.
Okay.
It's going to be on the personal level.
On
Um,
the honor system.
on the honor system, we do have a rating system that you're akin to, like in Uber. So the backbone of WorkoutWoof is structured kind of like Tinder or a dating app, where if you arrange a date, you get there and something's off, call it off. I mean, no harm, no foul. You're 100% okay with walking away from the dog, or the pet owner saying, "Nope, you're not what was promised.
This might
Um,
not be a good
this
fit
might not be it."
for whatever reason.
Yes. Yep.
I have dogs in my household that if you were a female runner, they'd be like, woohoo, let's go. And if you're a dude, they're like, I am not entirely sure about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
and then
I want
I
to leave that
definitely
up
have
to,
dogs who would not be able to run 3 miles. Like they would be like,
yeah.
no, I'm 15, leave me alone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how do you, what kind of activities are people doing with Workout Wolf? We've talked about running. I'm assuming you have walking.
Yep.
What
There,
else?
so right now it will track running, walking, and hiking within
Nice.
WorkoutWoof. It connects directly. Right now, it's only for iOS, so it connects with your Apple Watch, can track GPS.
So
It'll just do
we're
those three
skipping the Android people
for right
you're
now. So
until you're
there,
ready.
so the reason for skipping and for going with Apple first was according to my research, the majority of runners and active people or stay-at-home people have an Apple. The flip side, which I learned after, is that the majority of dog owners own Android.
Well, that would
So
be a problem.
yes, so that's the issue right now. But as soon as I'm okayed for Apple, Android is actually ready to go, maybe another month or so. And then shortly after that, there's going to be a web version.
Oh, nice. So then it just opens it up to everyone. So,
Yes.
what about any liability issues? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, the dog gets spooked by something and makes you trip and fall running. And you sadly, have some minor dust up.
Yeah.
How is that navigated?
Yeah. So for Workout Woof side, that's covered in our terms and conditions that just like a exercise partner or again, like a date, Workout Woof is not going to be responsible for that. It's up to you to make sure that you have, previously checked everything, that, the dog is not too big for you, or, the owner is too small, that you guys are aligned and you spent that initial time, as much as you think you need and the pet owner thinks you need to establish that relationship.
Cool.
As well, not we, it's just me. So as as I continue to morph, um, I realized, hey, you know what? There's a population of dogs that aren't being touched, and they're probably the ones that need to be touched even more than the neighborhood dogs. And those are the dogs in adoption centers and shelters. So, thinking about where I live in the suburbs and then also thinking about, individuals living in the cities. So this is a great opportunity again to shrink the community, bring more people together, get these dogs more exposure to individuals, if they've had um, poor relationships with people in the past, this could be a good way to reintroduce them, and those dogs in the kennels for so long, a nice 10-minute long run could go a long way to calming them down to make them more adoptable. Or the relationship is built so well that it ends up with an adoption. That's the goal,
And that could be
for
really
me.
magical,
Yeah.
finding the right dog for the right family.
Yes, it would be great.
So, how have you handled introductions so far?
Cold calling, just like I did with dogs. You're
Yes,
talking.
I was talking about with dogs. But yes, we came across Mark because Mark emailed us. And I was like, this is an amazing idea. And I'm super curious.
Yeah, with dogs I'm the main beta tester, right? Like I said, it started out with my neighbor dogs, a few times introducing, going into their home, playing outside, going on short walks with the owners.
Oh, nice.
Um, yep. with the shelter dogs going in, seeing how, how approachable the dog was to myself, how I reacted, and then, taking them out within the bounds first, and then the
Right.
next weekend going back and going a little further. And then yeah, a few dogs have taken rides in my car, and we've gone on little hikes from the from the shelter and brought them back a few hours later.
Honestly, my guess is most of the dogs would prefer a hike because it's
Yeah.
less structured.
Yeah.
They can just do a lot of sniffari.
Yeah. And it's better on the joints for people and animals.
Are there any breed restrictions?
No, no, I wouldn't like to put those restrictions on because just like people, there are some good, some bad. It doesn't matter what breed you
Right,
are.
dogs are individuals. I love that
Yeah.
answer. And
Yeah.
it gives me, it allows me to satisfy my curiosity about kind of someone who doesn't have a dog and how dogs are perceived. For example, a couple of years ago, I had one of my girlfriends who's a cat person. She doesn't really enjoy dogs. Come on the podcast and talk about dog people and dog households from a cat person's perspective, right? And having her child go to play at other people's homes and go to birthday parties and things like that. And we kind of talked a little bit about the things that would bother her or make her uncomfortable versus kind of the average dog people. Because I do think there's a certain, I don't know, I think when you're a dog person, you assume everybody loves dogs.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't all love them quite the same way. We don't want them in our mouth. So,
Yeah. That
so
dog breath
have
is
you,
something.
dog breath,
Yeah.
it can be really great. So, so have there been any hiccups in some of the dogs? You said some of the dogs kind of start the run or the walk on their own with you and go, no, I'm too far from my mom. I need to go back home now.
Yeah.
This feels like a dog napping.
Yeah.
I've had
So
my dogs do that with people where they go off with someone to go do something, and the dogs. I swear the look on the dog's face is I've been dog napped. Somebody needs to help me, even though it's somebody the dog knows.
yeah. Yeah. So fortunately and unfortunately, I haven't had any major mishaps to report. Fortunately, because those relationships have gone well. Unfortunately, because it is always nice to have that type of record, and then
Right.
how would WorkoutWoof or myself or a runner or an exerciser approach that? But we'll see what happens.
So, what are you seeing as the typical ages of the dogs?
Yeah, I'm seeing anywhere from 3 to 6. Nothing much higher for some
Interesting.
reason. Yeah.
Okay.
There is some hesitation from some of my neighbors with older dogs that they're like, I think it's more the neighbor's perception that they're like, no, my dog isn't going to like this. I don't want to try this. Or my dog, doesn't have that need.
Well, I do think that we condition like I a lot of people who are in my classes are runners, right? And they might get a puppy. And one of their questions, typically when the puppy is about 5 months old, right?
Mhm.
So they're in the thick of it. Puppy's finally getting house trained. Puppy is finally starting to kind of look like a little version of the adult version. They've done some training. They feel really connected, and they want to take the dog for a run. And the puppy is like, I'm not ready for that. Like, that's too much exercise. I'm
Yeah.
a growing kid. So there is a lot of research online about how to condition dogs slowly so that they can become hiking partners and camping partners and running partners and all of those good things. And I would say that there are some breeds also that are probably more prone. The other
Yeah.
things that I thought of were things like, okay, are we checking dog toenails before we do this? Because if
Mm.
just like for runners, if you have really long toenails, you're going to lose those, and that's not terribly much fun. It's kind of uncomfortable. It's also uncomfortable for dogs. So I definitely, as a dog aficionado,
Hmm.
had some concerns like, okay,
Hmm.
well, are we checking toe pads? Are we like, are the dogs being conditioned? And you're in Jersey,
Yes.
so I'm assuming that you're in a neighborhood, which is a little bit different than rural or maybe even some other parts of the country. Like here in Athens, Georgia, I don't want anybody taking my dog for a run in August. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
no, that's dangerous for the dog. So that's why I was curious. Like, is there like what safety concerns, you know, if you
Yeah.
have you been approached by another dog while you're running with a dog? I bet as a runner, you've had some dogs run up on you, and I get lots of questions about how to handle that because it's really scary.
Yeah. So I haven't had any of those yet. I haven't had any. So
Perfect.
when I when I take out dogs from from our local shelter, they right from the start say, Mark, make sure you are in an area without other dogs. So I make sure that I adhere to that. Maybe I'm not sure the total reason why that is. I'm guessing because they're not even sure how the dog would react,
Probably. And they
right?
don't want anybody getting hurt.
Yeah. I do like your idea of the checking the toenails. I did not think of that. I've wanted to add in kind of like a pre-checklist, I guess,
Right,
for
pre-flight.
yeah, pre-flight. Like, these are the kind of the bare essentials you're gonna make sure you need,
So I can give
before
you
this
some
happens.
easy
Yeah,
stuff, right? Like if you hear the dog's toenails when the dog walks on a solid surface, the nails are too long.
that's easy.
Isn't
I
that
could
easy? Right?
yeah.
And like here in Georgia, we're finally getting autumn weather. So we're all putting real shoes on and we're all like, oh, time for pedicure and cut those girls back because this is a little uncomfortable in real shoes, right? Or socks, right? Because
Yeah.
we've had a whole summer that we could be heathens and not worry about it. But I bet if you got into uh, well, you're a research guy, no question. So you'll be able to research kind of some quick things to check. Things like, so when you run, do you take water for you?
Yes.
And are we
Yes.
doing
And
the same thing for the dogs?
I do have a belt now. Yeah. To
Cool.
carry everything.
And poops.
It's
Are you
very handy because
responsible for poops?
yes.
Nice, thank you. I would like that. I would actually argue that there could be a whole way on the app that people could compete instead of distance how many poops they cleaned up, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're essentially renting that dog
Rent a
for
dog.
that time, right? So yeah, you're responsible for, the dog's health and as much as possible, right?
Right.
To mitigate any issues. Um, I'm very well aware of running in the summer on pavement and how hot that can be. So I'm one of those crazies that run with
You do
barefoot
trail
shoes.
running. Oh, you do barefoot shoes.
I do barefoot shoes, so I feel the heat of the ground in the summer. So I do move more towards the trails during the summer to reduce that heat.
Right. No, it's a big difference when you
Yeah.
start to experience it. So, have there been any challenges other than dogs who are
Luckily,
like, yeah, no, peace out, I'm not doing this?
yeah, no, luckily I haven't had anything big.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to have other people beta test?
So I do have a number of people beta testing.
Oh, cool.
I'm waiting for Apple to give me the
Apple.
100% yes, it can be on the App Store. So in all transparency, I've been rejected from the App Store 4 times already
Oh
for
my goodness.
yeah, for bugs. So I submitted again today and
Oh,
I
congratulations.
swear that all the bugs are gone. And I swear all the bugs are gone. So
We're trying.
Yeah, there were some very fringe cases, I think. So from what I understand, Apple purposely stresses the app and stresses the phone, stresses the network to see what the fallbacks are.
Right.
And in my testing environment, I didn't think of those scenarios. So that's where I was failing. So I did run some more stringent tests. So if everything it goes well, by Monday, it'll be on the Apple App Store for download for anyone.
Well, that would be
So
great.
yeah, and then that means before the end of the year, Android will be there as well. So,
So does
so
it track where you've been? Like, can the owner of the dog see on the app, like, oh, I see where Mark and Fluffy are right now?
yes, so this is so it's a privacy issue. So what WorkoutWoof does is the exerciser tracks their position via GPS and the Apple Watch and the phone location. The pet owner can see the distance traveled and the time.
But not
So
where.
not where. So the recommend because the the act of sharing someone else's position, it does open up to
Concerns.
it's concerns, right? You're not
Right.
always
Likewise,
exactly
I want to
sure
know where
who
my dog is. But I guess they
exactly.
could solve that with like an air tag.
That's what we recommend. Putting the air tag in the leash or the collar, and then you're not tracking the person,
You're
you're
tracking
tracking your
your own
dog.
dog.
Exactly.
And a lot of those programs, you can actually, it's a fitness app for dogs. So you can see how the dog's health is going and can be monitored. Um,
That's the next step. So
see how I am?
that's the next step. Yeah, so it is nice because even though you're not going to get the real time, location data that your dog ran, what you will get as a pet owner is is the history of when they ran, who they ran with, the duration that they ran. So you're going to get a very good idea of, how your dog's health is tracking.
And this is where I tell people that anything over 3 miles for a dog at one setting starts building endurance. It doesn't tire them out anymore. Because people always
Mm,
want to know, like, okay, I don't understand. Like, now my dog's running 6 miles a day and he's still wired. And I'm like, well, you built endurance
yeah.
versus building, like, burning off energy that that animal had that they wanted to go and explore. Do you find the dogs like running?
Once they get into it and they stop sniffing every 5 seconds for
Yes. Well, there's
right,
that.
then they can enjoy it. You can see the tongue go out and they're smiling, they're enjoying themselves.
They're
And
having a
they're
good time in the sun.
yeah, I mean it's not all the time, but they're beyond that brisk walk, right? Of that cadence, and you can see it like when a person moves, when the person is outside and running and you know, their body is somewhat stressed. You can kind of see that they have fun. They may be like tired in the moment, but afterwards they're like, that felt good, And that's the sense I'm getting with these dogs.
And then, so I'm assuming with running, because as I said earlier, I have a good knee and the other one. I don't run. I'm assuming there's some sort of warm up and cool off that the runner and or hiker are doing with the dog. So it's not just
Yeah.
get you out of the car and let's go. It's we're warming up, we're running or jogging or walking to kind of warm everything up and get everything moving.
Yeah. So that's why the main focus is on people that are already into fitness so that they understand their body and that they understand how another animal, another living being's body works as well, right? So someone that is already out there, maybe trail running or hiking, they're not going all out full speed. They're gonna take some time, maybe do some stretches, and get their body into it. Um, Workout Woof will never become a rover. It will not. I mean, this is meant for activity. It's
And
meant
for
for a
building and for
stimulation. Yeah,
building community,
exactly.
really. So how would that work, like if someone was on vacation? Like, let's
Hopefully
say
by
the
that
dog is
time,
staying with grandma for the week because the family's on a family vacation. Can they hook their dog up with a hiker or a runner in that area?
oh, 100% they could do that because, hopefully WorkoutWoof will be in all states. I'll tell you I get the most traction when I speak to people out in Utah and Colorado that they
Oh, I
love
bet.
being outside. Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, we don't want a dog, but we want a dog when we go on
With
these
us.
hikes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that from a woman's perspective, yeah,
Hmm.
I'd rather have a dog with me. I'm not going and doing that stuff by myself. Because there is a safety issue
Yeah.
of especially, well, I'm in Athens, Georgia, where Laken Riley was murdered a few years ago on a run
Mm.
by herself, right? And didn't know the perpetrator, just became a victim of an awful circumstance.
Yeah, that was
So,
horrible.
and you do wonder, like if college girls were running with a dog that even wasn't theirs, but was like Mildred across the street's dog,
Yeah.
um, would that change the circumstance sufficiently that because she's listened, most runners in my experience that I see are like listening to a headset. They're not always terribly aware of their environment.
Yes. Yeah.
And as a mama and a grandma, I worry about that.
I mean, you know, I'm not a girl, I'm not a woman. But w when I'm out
Well, you
running
have
in
two
places,
daughters and a wife, right?
yeah,
Like,
I do
would
have
you
that
want your
same fear,
girls?
even for myself sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think men think about being prey the same way women do. Like, I do think that we often have a little bit different lens that we realize,
Yes.
like, okay, well, it's riskier, and it's a interesting thing because I would say that having a dog with me definitely makes me go, okay, well, I've got another set of eyes on everything. It's a little bit of
Yeah.
a deterrent. I don't know how much, but it is at least a little bit of a
Yeah.
deterrent. But I
Yeah.
did wonder if it made you more of a magnet for like off leash dog because they're like, oh, there's a dog. I'm going to go say hi to that dog. And you're like, no, we're running. You know,
Yeah. I haven't come across that yet.
I think that's great. And I love that Colorado and Utah are down. I bet a
Yeah.
lot of places are really going to like this. So, what
Yeah.
kind of costs are associated with WorkoutWoof?
For every new user, there's a 3-month promotion for free use. There are two tiers. There's basic and premium. Um, the basic is $1 per month or $10 per year. The premium is $9.99 per month or 99 per year. So the differences between them is actually you're limited in the number of workouts you can do per month.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
limiting factor.
So it's
So
not limited by how many connections you make. It's not limited by distance. It's
nope,
just how many times a month you're running.
exactly, exactly. Right. So it's paid on the exerciser's end and also on the pet owner's end. Now, when you think about it, you go, wait, why is the pet owner gonna do this? Well, what's the incentive for a pet owner to join Workout Woof? There are many people that are already paying for dog walking services, and you're paying $35, $45 per session at a 30-minute stint. You do two workouts with Workout Woof over a month, and you are way ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game. Um, the runners, the exercisers, it's also a way to vet to make sure that these people are serious. There's, people are looking for this connection with the dog, and they're putting the money up to be a part of this community.
So does that create a bailment? I'm going to ask you a legal question that probably nobody cares about. Does that create a bailment for both?
You have to tell me what bailment means.
Okay, so
Mhm.
a bailment is a temporary transfer of personal property from an owner, the bailer, to another person, the bailee, for a specific purpose, with the understanding that the property will be returned. Examples include leaving a car with a valet, checking a code at a restaurant, or sending a package for delivery. In this case, it would be a dog.
Yeah, so I'm gonna fall back to the dating app scenario. Dating apps have that that free tier, and they also have that paid tier. And it's a
Hmm.
matchmaking service. Instead of people, I'm matchmaking with a dog and a person.
Right.
Right.
No, and I think that that's interesting.
Yeah.
So any of our law-minded people on listening to the podcast, please chime in because that might be something Mark needs to know about.
I would love to hear the feedback on that. I'm gonna do
Because he
my
doesn't
some
want to
research
get into
afterwards.
mischief. We don't
Yeah.
want any mischief or foolishness.
No,
So
definitely.
I am so excited about this, Mark. So will you let me know when the app goes live on Apple so
Hmm.
that we can help you get the word out that this is something we do? Um, and I think this is a very interesting idea. It's something I had never heard about before. So good for you.
Yes. Thank you. And as soon as I get a beta out for Android, you'll be the first to be invited to it.
Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much. The
Yeah.
Doberman might need someone to be a running partner with him, though he's kind of lazy. So, is there anything I should have asked you that I haven't asked you?
No, I think we covered a ton. I mean,
We
well,
did.
also, hopefully this isn't going to be the last time we're going to talk, right?
Yes, I would love to have you share more
Yeah.
information. So I will say I'm in the process. I just learned about something, an activity called geo-sniffing.
Hmm.
And what geo-sniffing is marrying scent work for dogs with geocaching for humans. And so
Oh.
we found a way to add scent to caches. And then on the already existing geocache um, applications, websites, all of those caches, there's actually a separate like series coding that says like this is a scent one. So this was so exciting to me for a whole bunch of reasons. One, because I work with people sometimes who have dogs who have big feelings about either other dogs or other people, and being able to go out and do scent work with your dog out,
Mm.
whether it's in a city, right? There's a geocache. I actually found my first geocache the other day. It's about a quarter of a mile from me. Like now I know where it is. So I'm in the process of finding out about clove scented stickers that I can put
Okay.
in the cache. And we can start getting the word out to people who do geocaching, like, hey, can you help us distribute stickers? And would you like to include your dogs sometimes? Then we'll
Yeah.
show you how to do the scent work, right? To teach the dog. So again, with this whole mindset of building community, all of
Yes.
us getting away, like, yes, you're still going to have your phone because you're going to be marking everything and reading the cache, but we're getting out and we're doing something, an activity that we can do as individuals, as families, as a group of friends, however, right? As just a challenge. So my family is spread all over the United States. It would be really cool to be like, hey, I'm going to geocache. I challenge